Hello and welcome to Extra Cover, the cricket mental health podcast which interviews professional cricketers around the circuit about how they prevent and deal with hardships within the game. This podcast is brought to you by Not Out Mental Health, a brand which helps raise money and bring awareness to mental health charities within cricket. The podcast is also sponsored by CBM Cricket, who produce a great range of cricket equipment and bats. Extra Cover stands for the mental shield and extra support you turn to when going through hardships. Today we are joined by Yorkshire all-rounder George Hill. George has quickly established himself as one of the most reliable young all-rounders in county cricket, with over 2,700 first-class runs and more than 130 wickets at an average in the low 20s. He's a player who contributes in every department, but with that comes expectation. In this episode, we're talking about managing expectations and dealing with performance anxiety, the pressure to deliver, the fear of failure, and how players manage it at the highest level. So hi, how are you?
Very good, how are you?
Yes, good, thank you. How's your day been so far?
Been good. Played a bit of golf this morning,
Nice.
which is lovely. Nice weather for it, no rain up north, which is always a positive, but yeah.
Nice. And how's this winter block going for you so far?
Yeah, just pretty much been all fitness so far.
Okay.
Just started batting last week, yeah, all fitness. Yeah, it's been pretty tough, but it's good to be back.
Yeah, and have you got a smaller group at the moment?
Yeah, there's only, I think, I want to say 6 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a lot of lads have gone to Australia this winter. Got Benno, who's away with the 19 World Cup, and the few lads that signed rookie contracts are in Club Cricket Australia playing. So there's only, not many of us here, which is quite nice. There's a good group of us here. We're all trying our best to work as hard as we can. Yeah, it's been good fun. So
Nice. Yeah, and then obviously you've, as you mentioned before the interview, you're off to Australia yourself in a few weeks.
Yeah, off to Melbourne, back end of Jan for like a training camp for 5 weeks, which will be good fun. Never been to Australia before.
Yeah.
So looking forward to experience sort of that lifestyle and culture, as well as, I think we're training at the Junction Oval, sorry, it's called, where Victoria guys train. So apparently it's there. Unbelievable, so I'm looking forward to going out there.
Yeah, how are you feeling about the heat out there?
Well, as a very pale person, not that good about it. I reckon I'll come back not particularly brown, a bit like a squashy. So back to 50 for me the entire time, but yeah, it'll be good fun.
Nice, proper white, like Yorkshire man.
100%.
So obviously you've been here at Yorkshire since you started through the county age group. How do you feel like Yorkshire as a county has been integrated into your identity as a person and as a player?
Massively, yeah. I think all my family that I've met have been from Yorkshire. Dad grew up in Doncaster, Mum grew up in Castleford, so very much Yorkshire based. Grew up in Bingley. I think us Yorkshiremen, kind of get stereotyped of being a bit grumpy, a bit hard on the nose, but it's been a massive aspect of sort of shaping who I am growing up as a person, as a cricketer. I think going through the academy, our academy coach was brilliant. He was quite strict in terms of almost regimental, like never be late, always be polite, always treat everybody around the building with respect. Doesn't matter if it's a head coach, if it's cleaners, everybody is treated the same, which I think is awesome to have that sort of instilled into your young age. Sorry, having that respect for everybody. And yeah, the good thing about Yorkshire as well is we've got a proud history of boys coming through the academy, boys and girls who go on to represent Yorkshire, which is massive. Like our core now, especially us 24, 25, a bit younger than us now, growing up playing age group cricket together. So we're really tight, which I think makes a huge difference.
And do you feel like there is a real club value instilled into you?
Oh, 100%, massively. I mean, obviously, I'd love to just be able to play here for the rest of my career. No intention at all of leaving. Some of my best mates play here, work with every day, which is a real privilege, really. And it's just a huge amount of fun playing cricket here.
Yeah. Well, you're signed on till 2028 at the moment, and obviously with the idea to keep coming back for years to come. How do you feel like this long-lasting relationship with Yorkshire affects you and your game? Do you feel like this leads to additional pressures, or does that fill you with excitement that you're still here playing for the club?
I think definitely excitement.
Yeah.
Also with a bit of a longer contract, a bit more security, so you're not always looking over your shoulder thinking about a contract next year, which is really nice. But yeah, huge privilege, as I said before. I think our fans are very passionate. If we're not doing so well, they'll let us know. But at the same time, we get probably some of the bigger crowds for Red Bull cricket coming to watch us, especially when we go to Scarborough and York. Like the 4-day stuff there and the 50 over games there are pretty much always sold out, which is awesome. You know, cricket's such a massive part of Yorkshire, so there's not really a huge amount of negativity that comes with being here for a long amount of time. It's just a massive honour and a huge privilege to play such a big county like Yorkshire.
And how do you deal with that external pressure or expectations from fans, especially as you say, like being vocal on social media and things like that?
Yeah, early in my career, so obviously our Twitter, every wicket they tweet it, and obviously everybody can comment underneath that.
Yeah.
And I made the very silly error of reading all those comments when I was a bit younger. And Gary Balance said to me, actually, that stuck me till now. He said, "You're never as good as people say you are on social media, never as bad as people say you are," which I thought was a really good thing, because you get 100 people going, "Oh, you should be playing for England." You go stringing up scores that have not gone very well and calling you rubbish.
Yeah.
Which obviously they're passionate, they're huge passionate, they come support us around their opinion. But it came to a point where I was just, it's not really helping reading those comments, so I just muted Yorkshire's tweets throughout the summer, so I could scroll peacefully through Twitter without worrying about getting bagged on social media. So that's why I did, to sort of try and cut out that external noise, basically.
And during those periods, is that something that you feel like you would bring onto the pitch with you?
Yeah, it's just sort of almost like having baggage, thinking like, you know, especially batting, it's such a mental sport, mental sport, and I think it's hard enough going out there facing people bowling 85 mile an hour, and you've got a split second to react without thinking about how many people have called you crap for or rubbish for however long it is. So I think, you know, people are going to call me crap in public, or definitely have called me crap throughout the season, which is absolutely fair enough. But I think just not entertaining and not reading it's definitely been a big thing for me.
Yeah. Well, obviously, like I said, you've been here through age group, but you always described yourself in age group as a bowler who used to bat 12.
Yeah.
So batting has been something that has grown with you through your journey. It's very easy within an age group to be typecast into one role. With my experience, they very much want to put you in a box of batter or bowler. How is this something that you try to overcome coming up through the age groups?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was sort of me until maybe probably 15. It also kind of changed because I had a coach at school, Smart Spade, who said, first thing someone was like, "You're a batter who bowls a bit," which I sort of believed as well. It was almost trying to show the Yorkshire age group coach that was the case. Tony Pickersgill, who was my under 14 coach, I want to say, one day I did open one there. He was, I think, I was ill or injured. Went, "Oh, George opened the batting, did all right, took my chance," and it kind of went from there. Ever since then, sort of been more about the bowls really. I think it's just sort of, if you get an opportunity, kind of grab it. Yeah. Because you know, you never really know if that opener wasn't ill or sick that day. Would I have got given a chance to bat higher up, and would I have ended up being here? I don't know. Obviously, it's impossible to say, isn't it? Really. Yeah. But just sort of grabbing my opportunity when I was younger, and then working my nuts off basically from in school and through the academy to get where I am now. Yeah,
being an all-rounder is something that every boy and girl wants to attain. What is a big thing that really motivated you to be able to split your time equally to both?
I just wanted to be involved basically. That was basically it. I think at school, like I barely did any bowling, to be fair. Like barely practiced my bowling, so my action's a little bit funky, like in terms of if you were to coach somebody how to bowl, you probably wouldn't teach them, look at my video if they're bowling, if that makes sense. So bowling's like just been very natural, sort of done as it has done. Batting worked, as I said, worked my nuts off with that all through school and in the academy. And then, funny enough, when I first got on the staff, I barely bowled.
Yeah.
Did like a full swap almost. But then that sort of changed with opportunities where sort of been given the ball, all the bowlers need a rest like 3-4 years ago, and then ended up doing all right then, and then that sort of grown into being given more opportunity and more sort of onus and more responsibility with ball in hand, which I've really enjoyed it. Like, as alluded to before, I just want to be involved in all facets of the game, bat, ball and field. Because obviously as well, if one goes a bit tits up, you've always got the other one to sort of rely on, which is I think it's a nice thing to sort of have. You know, I've been just about, and it's tough, especially you're going through a tough period. You feel like you're letting lads down because you're not really pulling your weight. So having all three facets is quite nice.
Yeah, and like as you said, when you were first starting your journey in professional sport here at Yorkshire, there were phases where your bowling was underused. Were you referring to the second team kind of start-up? With that, how do you manage mentally when you feel like you're going through a quieter period and you feel like you're not getting opportunities that you perhaps should be grabbing?
I think for me, the way I sort of been brought up was never to like moan. I think, especially like a young player coming through, obviously you want to show that you care, and be passionate, that's absolutely fine, but being a young player, I think getting a reputation of moaning and being able to sort of when things are going your way is not a particularly good thing to have labelled onto you. So I was just sort of, if I didn't bowl, get the opportunity to bowl, that's fine, because we had lots of bowls on the staff at that point, and obviously the first team will give orders down to the second team saying we need so-and-so to bowl, because it might have been the first team as a bowler, and that's, you know, how professional sports works. But then when your opportunity just come around, just sort of try and grab it and take it with both hands. And you know, I think I barely bowled the second team really. I think it was only last year before that, that's how I bowled the first team and loved it. And just down to not having many bowlers and sort of having to fill a hole kind of to start with, and then doing it right, and then being given more responsibility.
And what did conversations regarding like your role as a bowler look like behind the scenes?
Now it's very different to what it was 2 years ago. Now it's probably more so as like a genuine bowling option, as opposed to last couple of years it would be more like a 5th, 6th kind of seamer that could bowl if conditions suited, or if lads needed a break or whatever it was. So it's, I do enjoy the responsibility of sort of having more onus on my bowling. I do feel like I can make quite a big impact from the ball now, especially with more confidence I've got. It's a massive confidence thing. I think my bowling's not changed that much. It's just having the confidence now that I've done it, knowing that I can do it, if that makes sense. And then at the top of my mind thinking, right, where's Bloody hit me before? I've sort of flipped it around, started thinking, well, how am I going to get him out? It's a complete mindset shift, which has been pretty good. Yeah, and I can imagine in especially formats such as 4 days, if you're not being bowled, like that could really get on top of you the longer, as the days are going on. Yeah, definitely. But again, as young as I said before, like, don't moan, just sort of get on with it. You can be annoyed, you can have conversations with coaches, captains, and go, look, maybe I think I should be bowling, which I never did, to be fair. I was always just sort of do as I'm told type thing, which still had to be fair. But yeah, and then when the captain gives you the ball, just give it your all and try to impact the game, basically. So a little more on to red ball kind of side of things. You have said in previous interviews that you can be a bit of an overthinker when waiting to bat, or you have been in the past. How do you still resonate with this, or if you don't, what are things that you've kind of adopted to overcome this? So I think that came from after, so I first started out opening the batting, which I quite enjoyed because there's no time to overthink. If you're batting first, you're straight out there. If you're fielding first, the last week you go off, you run off, put your pads on, and in 10 minutes you're back out again. Which I quite like because there's no time to overthink. You're just out there in the battle, sort of trusting your own ability, trusting your judgment. I think I struggled first year batting down the order because, as I said, just would be sitting there overthinking and my mind wouldn't really switch off. I spoke to Malla about this. He said that in order to switch off, he just wouldn't watch for the first couple of wickets.
Yeah.
So if I was batting 6, I was sort of like trying to take my mind off cricket by doing a crossword, whatever, like go for a cup of tea or a coffee, just try and take my mind completely off cricket for the first couple of wickets, just to try and mentally switch off. Because if you're bowling stood at slip and waiting to bat, thinking about cricket, you'll be absolutely like mentally drained before you even go out there. And that's something I struggled with this year, to be fair, just the amount of overs I bowled. Well, I was just knackered going out to bat. Like my mind was just so tired. I don't think I actually really understood how tired I was until I kind of stood back and had actual think about how I was feeling going out to bat, which is quite interesting. But I think just sort of having a way to switch off for me now, to try and not think about cricket, do anything other than talk or look about cricket. Obviously until you're next in all the one before, then you have got to switch on. You can't be sat in a crossword if you're next in. But yeah, that's how I try and figure it out.
And how does this differ between formats for you, mentally?
I think the 4-day one's definitely more taxing because especially in T20 cricket, it happens so quick. Like you can't really afford to be sat upstairs with a cup of tea doing a crossword when you're batting the orphans a little bit too quick. I think it's almost a little bit too much going on in T20 to overthink waiting to bat, because a lot of the time it's sort of the scoreboard dictates what you have to do, if that makes sense, especially chasing. Like you're 12 and over, that's fine, I know exactly what I need to do now. Whether in red ball there's a lot more grey areas, like ebbs and flows of games where it's not necessarily straightforward what the right option is, if that makes sense. There's a bit less head noise in T20 because it's so much quicker.
Yeah, and the run rate dictates what you got to do anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You said that you feel like at times you had a tricky period in the last season, or the last few seasons you've had a few peaks and troughs. You have spoke about changing your mindset to scoring runs rather than just surviving, and just enjoying your cricket. Do you feel like this is specific to a certain format, or how has this come about, this change of mindset for you?
No, it's definitely all formats.
Yeah.
I think it comes from, especially the enjoyment part of it, is that obviously the summer's so long, and if you start viewing it as a job that you're not particularly liking, it's not a particularly fun place to be in. I think you've got to be, we're extremely privileged, like playing cricket for a living. Like I'm playing with some of my best mates, traveling up and down the country. I think if you flip it and try and take the pressure off yourself, you perform a lot better. And it's similar to trying to score runs rather than just survive. Like as bowling at people now, if you bowl at people who just aren't looking to put you under any pressure, it's like a dream compared to somebody who comes out and actually tries to score from ball one.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about trying to slog, it's obviously calculated.
Yeah.
But I think it just puts the opposition team under so much more pressure. You go out there and actually look to be on the front foot rather than just survive the entire time. And yeah, just the enjoyment thing, like I think I put a huge amount of pressure on myself because of how much I knew my parents sacrificed to send me to school to be able to practice all the cricket I did.
Yeah.
And that was always like a massive voice in the back of my head going, I don't really want to let them down.
Yeah.
And then that would just spiral. So, and then I'd just become so worked up about it, like really tense out there batting, rather than thinking, because I'm massive, like when I'm batting my best, I'm not thinking of anything, like I'm just enjoying it. I'm like see ball, hit ball, and the more you go on, the longer you go on, without scoring any runs, the more you overthink, the more your mind's full of all these negative thoughts. And I think if you can just clear that, I think that's what the best batters do, clear that, and just play with the freedom, you're a million times better.
Yeah. Is there a specific moment that you can look back on and think, this is where I realised like my mentality needed to shift? Yeah,
it was at Northants, not last year, the year before. Again, not scored a run for a while, and I went with a lap with our batting coach and Ali made and just was pretty open with him, pretty honest about how I was feeling about how I've put in so much pressure on myself because I don't let my family down, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, that he understood it completely, he played the game. And he was like, just go back to when you were a kid, like how much you enjoyed playing cricket. And luckily, the back end of that year, I had a pretty strong finish with bat and ball when we got promoted. So that talk seemed to work, and it just helped me a lot going forward.
What does family mean to you? Are these close bonds with your family like really essential to your cricketing journey?
Yeah, massively. Yeah, like a huge family person. They live up in Cumbria, so probably don't see him as much as I should do really. But I try and get up every time I can. My brother's at Leeds Beckett, so he's close by. I try and take him for a coffee when he's not hungover in bed and be at the pub the night before. But yeah, we're not particularly a big family at all, like a really small family.
Yeah.
So we're all extremely close, and again, I've alluded to before, like the sacrifice mum and dad made, sort of taking me up and down the country for cricket, for all sports as well, growing up, tennis, hockey, whatever it was. They never know, get up early to take me all around, and yeah, hugely grateful, and probably should say it more often to them, how thankful I am to them, but yeah, without them, I definitely wouldn't be, without their support, wouldn't be playing cricket like I am today.
Yeah, and do you think that these close family bonds are what keeps you going in the tough times as well?
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, having such a good support network to sort of fall back onto. Like, I'm sometimes pretty bad because obviously, as all parents are, they just want to help, don't they? And especially when you're going through tough times, mum might go, "Oh, what's happened with the band?" I'm like, "Mum, I don't talk about that." Obviously, because it comes from a place of love, I feel almost bad having to like almost shut down. But I do love going home now. If I ever get a break in the season, drive to Cumbria, it's a bit like countryside, middle of nowhere, peace and quiet, walk down to the pub with family, few pints, switch off. That's what I love doing, to try and get away from cricket.
Yeah, and are they a big cricketing family themselves?
They're a big sport. I always like mum's dad. He was like big sportsman, like loved club sport, captain rugby is club, captain of cricket, that kind of person.
Yeah.
They spent most Saturdays growing up making the teas, sort of all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody played professional sport, I don't think. I'm pretty sure they didn't. But just like loved sport, all kind of sports growing up, which definitely moulded me and my brother loving sport as well. Yeah.
So you feel like you can have breathing space away from cricket when you go up and see them?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I think last couple of years, sort of, I needed it, and they've been brilliant. Sort of, whenever I want to come up. Obviously, my mum's always went to come back home, aren't they? So it's been lovely. Just even it's like for a night, go there for a day or a night. Yeah. Go up there, switch off, see the dog. Like it's nice switch off.
And do they come and support your games like during the season?
Yeah, they are very good, to be fair. Mum and dad. Like dad will organise business meetings in whatever city, push into a camera in case he gets back to him, but he'll do that so he can come watch. Brother loves his cricket. Brother will come down sometimes with mates to watch cricket, so they're really supportive.
So obviously, talking about workloads and refreshes, you certainly needed a refresh during the end of the season just gone. You were unfortunately pulled from a Lions game due to workloads. How was that something that you coped with when you got that news that you were being pulled?
To start with, I was pretty annoyed. I was actually really annoyed. Yeah. Quite naively, looking back at it now, like it was completely the right thing to pull me out. But at the time, I was gutted. We'd finished a block of 7 champos. I'd bowled a lot more than I thought I would. I think that was planned to as well, really, just because I was going pretty well with the ball. And main thing I was annoyed about, was because I thought, well, what was if I don't get the opportunity again, was where I was coming from. Yeah. Sort of, if I look back in 10 years' time, that was my only shot to kind of impress. Yeah. And I was pulled out, not because I was injured, because of workloads. I'd have been absolutely filthy. I actually ran my brother up and was very annoyed. Yeah. I was like, right, we're off to the pub. Just sat in the pub with him for about 4 hours, and that made it better. But again, Yorkshire's looking out for me. I think if I'd have gone to the Lions then, I'd have been knackered, and I wouldn't have been able to perform to my best ability. Yeah. So in hindsight, they completely made the right call. Yeah. Even though I was absolutely gutted at the time. Obviously, Mags has been around for years, played for England, like Yorkshire legend. He's very wise. He knows what he's talking about, and I probably should have at the time understood more. But now I completely get it. why they pulled me out. Luckily, I managed to play the game afterwards, which I was pretty happy about. So it all ended up working out quite nicely.
Yeah. And during that time, who did you obviously mention your brother, but were there other support systems you turned to?
Yeah, lads here,
Yeah.
brilliant. Obviously, Bessie's played for England, been around England,
Yeah.
set up. He we had a couple of honest chats about that. And yeah, I think the good thing about being here now is that we're all so close. We can have honest chats with each other in terms of, if I went to war, say, look, I need to put down about this. Do you mind if we go for a coffee? I know for a fact what I've said to him there will go no further.
Yeah.
Like I say, between me and him, which I think is a huge thing. Like to be able to trust people.
Yeah.
With things like that is massive. But yeah, I think that's just such a lucky, privileged thing to be able to have.
Yeah, especially when you're travelling and living literally on top of each other during the season. Like that is something really essential for team morale, and I'm sure just even confidence in the middle.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think just as you said, like we see these idiots more than we see our family in the summer.
Yeah.
Like we're constantly on top of each other. And I think, as you said about confidence in the middle, like if you're good mates off the pitch, it shows on the pitch because you want other lads to do really well.
Yeah.
Like, say for example, Water gets 100, everybody's buzzing, he's got 100. There's no people going, well, it's a similar spot to me, I'm not going to play next week. Nobody thinks like that.
Yeah.
It's all very much team first. And even when we get into like bad situations out the middle, like if one bloke, opposition goes at one of our lads, we will kind of go at them as one, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We've definitely got each other's backs, which is a good place to be, knowing that you've got 10 other lads, waiting to help you out if you're in a bit of a tough time in the middle, which is good.
And do you feel like some of these, this sense of community has kind of been built since there's been like management changes at the top, or is this something that's always been like inbred in Yorkshire values?
I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
I think obviously Yorkshire is it's obviously a massive county, and to actually get to, even on the academy is pretty tough because there's loads of kids trying to get to that stage. So I think you do become very close just because of how hard you work with each other in the academy throughout from 16 to 18. And then I think change in management's made us a lot closer as well. I think when everybody got sacked, then we didn't have coaches for, I want to say, like 5 months.
Oh wow.
4 months.
Okay.
So there was a lot of time where senior boys would just be like, right, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And we'd all be like, buying to go, yeah. Like we would go and play five-a-side footy for our fitness. Because obviously it was a rubbish time. Like the club, like, it was horrible.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely brought us all a lot closer because we had to be, basically, because all we had for support was each other. We didn't have a physio, a psychologist, coach to go and say, oh, I'm feeling this way or that way. They literally had 15, 16 lads. Yeah. Which I think in the long run has made us all a lot closer, definitely.
Yeah. And how did you mentally deal with that time? How did you feel like for your own game? Like, did you feel like lots of uncertainties because there was no stable management in place?
Yeah, potentially, because you also don't know if the head coach is going to pick you if he likes you, basically.
Yeah.
In terms of, obviously, sport's so subjective. One coach might think you're the bee's knees, one coach might think you're pretty average. So sort of when you fluctuate between coaches, thinking, well, will the coach pick me, or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to have my school coach, Martin Spate. I still go see him now quite a lot, quite good friends with him now. When we didn't have any coach, I just went up and saw him quite a lot.
Amazing.
So I was very lucky to be able to do that. That helped me out massively.
Yeah. Do you, with obviously you've got new management now, and as you said, you feel like they've really got a well-being first approach. Do you ever have that worry about overuse and fatigue, being overbowled, overworked, and how is this something with such a busy schedule in the summer that you can regulate yourself?
To be honest, I don't worry about being overworked and overbowled. I'm not, if I'm playing game cricket, I want to be able to bowl as much as I need, basically, what the team needs, if that makes sense, rather than being worried about, if I'm bowled X amount of overs now and that's too many. I don't really look at it like that at all.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that if Mags or Ed were worried about my ball and we had an honest conversation about it. And I think that's a really good thing about the entire staff we've got now, is that you can be honest with each other. You don't have to feel like you've got to hold back, and they'll be really honest back with you as well. I just want to, when I'm playing, just want to be able to do as much as I can for the team. Like I love playing for Yorkshire. I love playing with these sets of lads. Like I never really thought about, didn't think about it once last year. Well, I've bowled too many overs this week or this month or whatever it is. Because I don't know, my brain just doesn't think like that really. It just wants to play all the games as I can, and don't really want to miss any games. Like I want to play every single game all summer and bat bowl field and all.
And do you feel like that although you have that real drive and desire to want to play every game, that you feel like off the pitch you get that right balance of being able to walk away from the game as well and it doesn't over-consume you? Yeah,
that's definitely something that for me is come with age. I think I'm a massive one in terms of if I have a net. If I hit 100 balls, if I hit 95 unbelievably and I hit 5 pretty averagely, I will think about the 5.
Right, okay.
So that's a massive thing, because even when you're out in the middle, it's like if you nick inside chunk 1 for 2, you find that you're laughing because it's 2 runs to your scorecard, whereas a net you go, why am I inside chunk that? Like what's happening in my head for one over it, my hands are going out wherever it is. Like you're massively overthinking it. And I think it's really important to have a switch off away from cricket. Like our staff are really keen on just like socialising, especially during like 4 days. Not necessarily having pints, just getting out, having dinners like in groups of people, then being there for a drink, if it's like a softie, if it's a 0%, if it's a beer, if you want a beer, whatever it is, just making sure lads are, if they want to be obviously, they're there to be able to chat absolute rubbish about anything, rather than be sat in your room overthinking what's gone on that day. I was very guilty of, if I had a bad day with a bat especially, I would probably eat dinner and go straight to bed, and then I'd be like watching videos of me batting when I felt good and trying to figure out the difference between what was going on now, what was going on when I was playing well, which is not particularly a good place to be in, I don't think, for me personally. I think it's almost having that relaxed kind of vibe, relaxed environment. Obviously when push comes to shove, actually being switched on, knowing that you need to go out before. Having that relaxed environment for me is massive, and that's where golf comes into as well. Obviously it gets a bit of flack golf at the minute with the England management, everybody saying they play too much golf, but I think it's a brilliant way just to take your mind off it. It's active, you're on your feet all day, you're with your mates, probably talking about anything but cricket most of the time, and it gets the competitive juices going, so I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, definitely, and it's definitely better to get outside, have some fresh air instead of being stuck inside.
Definitely.
Yeah, so in the middle of a 4-day game, as you said, like you felt like at times you could torture yourself by going through videos of you batting. Is that something that during, obviously you said earlier as well about having notifications blocked off as well on Twitter, is your performance during the game something that you just completely switch off to and park until the whole 4 days are over?
No, not entirely.
Okay.
I think 'cause obviously cricket's such like a conditions-based sport as well. Like very rarely you get a 4-day game that's the same as the last. So whether the weather's different, pitch, opposition, all will be different. So I think it's important. Obviously, you usually get 2 bites of cherry when you bat it, sort of analysing, not too in depth, but thinking, right, what's my scoring options on this wicket? What's sort of my main mode, specifically on this wicket? For example, if it's green and it's seaming everywhere, probably a good idea is maybe putting a drive away for the first 30 balls in your ring, that kind of thing. Just like little things like that, which is kind of more like game awareness, I suppose, rather than over-analysing things. But I think that's, probably still have to be pretty savvy and conscious about what's going on during the game.
And does that differ for when you're in the middle of a bowling innings? Is that something that you feel like you can walk away from bowling a little more than batting?
Yeah, I think, definitely. I think 'cause in my head, so I'm batting the bowls a bit, but it's probably coming a little bit closer together now. But same with bowling. Like we'll come off from a session, we'll sit down with Mickey, and he might have some thoughts on it. Obviously speaking to the bowlers as well, what might work on that wicket, if it's been a touch fuller or a touch short, whatever it might be, or to certain batters, different sort of plans if the bloke's going well against you. Just sort of adapting to what's in front of you, I think is massively important in cricket. I think if you're a bit narrow-minded and thinking, right, well, this is what worked for me last week, it has to work for me this week, that obviously is not always the case. You need to be able to adapt and bowl to different plans and different fields to different batters.
In the 2022 season, obviously you broke your toe, and you took career best wickets first game back bowling. But you have said in previous interviews that during that spell, like, you didn't actually back yourself to continue with that spell. How important is that team and community to you, especially when you have at times not felt like 100% confidence in your bowling?
Yeah, no, massively. I remember that because we actually got Bessie. It was a typical Old Trafford raining. Pretty grim week, so there was a massive wet patch near the covers and our ball was horrendous. Bessie got it for 4 and the ball was just soaked, and I was bowling at the end, and we had to change the ball, and the ball had gold writing on it. Was a lot harder, and ended up actually nipping a little bit. I think I got 2 wickets. I said to Tatsu, his captain, I was like, "Oh, take me off, get the proper bowls on," something along those lines. He was like, "No, don't be daft, like, you're bowling well in rhythm, like, you keep it on bowling, you bowl lovely." And thankfully he did. Because that day definitely gave me a lot of confidence with the ball to sort of prove to myself that I can actually bowl. And credit to Tatsu, and Tatsu's an absolute legend, for saying, no, don't be daft, like, actually back your ability. Because now definitely I back ability a lot more. The last day against Durham here, I was walking past Johnny just saying, like, you're not going to take me off here, like, I don't want to stop bowling. Like, bowling maybe 6 overs, and I was like, I feel unbelievable, I feel really good at it, like, please don't take me off. Almost that sort of mentality swap from saying 3 years ago, look, take me off, get the proper bowlers on, to me actually believing that I can actually be a proper bowler, and sort of that kind of thing was pretty cool. Yeah,
I can imagine. And are you more of a confidence player, so you need games to look back on as a reference point for when you're going through hard times?
Yeah, I'm hugely a confidence player. I think quite a lot of people externally can sometimes be like that. Cody always says to me, like a joke, if, like, here's where, like, okay would be, I'm, like, consistently outwardly, like, below it, if that makes sense. So I don't really outwardly fluctuate, which works inside. I feel like I do a lot, get really down. But he just says, like, I'm constantly a little bit grumpy around cricket sometimes, just like level, which is good that I'm level, but ideally it'd be a little bit higher. So I'm a massive confidence player. Like, I think it sort of can eat away the outside of cricket as well, and it can kind of sometimes affect relationships outside of cricket, which is not good at all. I think if you nip that in the bud as quickly as you can, obviously the better, because at the end of the day it's just a game. If it starts affecting your relationship with your mum, dad, brother, girlfriend, whatever it is, then that's probably when you need to have a pretty long hard look at yourself and probably chat to people you trust to try and get out of that rut. I've sort of completely gone off the wrong tangent there about confidence, but going back to a massive confidence player, like, if you could just see it in the way I even set up when I'm batting, when I'm feeling good at myself, when not, it's like this chalk and cheese, it's completely different.
And have you reached out for, like, external support for when it does seem to seep into your personal life?
Not particularly external in terms of, I just would, if I'm pretty bad at it, I used to just, sounds really strange, I would sort of bowl it all up and then go out for, like, beers, get hammered, and then just kind of, like, unload it on, like, somebody I trusted. I wouldn't like go to a random person at a bar and just completely unload on them. It would be probably, most of the time it was Warsaw Leach, I'd just end up just pouring my heart out, then after probably 10 pints, which is not a particularly healthy thing to do. I think now, obviously maturing as well, and realising that it's actually not weak to speak about being vulnerable, or particularly not being in a good place. It's really important to actually. And I think it kind of flipped to me when I realised that if somebody I'm close with was in my shoes in terms of was too scared to talk to me, I'd be like livid with them, be like, mate, what are you doing? Just come for a chat. Like, obviously, say between me and you, you know, you can talk to me for an hour and I'll just sit and nod. If it's just to get it off your chest, that's absolutely fine. Like, but I think with maturity and realising, it's just not weak, just being able to speak to somebody about it. just makes a huge amount of difference.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's a real common theme throughout this podcast series of people just expressing the positives and benefits that opening up has given to them.
Yeah.
Do you feel like your views have changed on enforced rest as a chance to almost reflect and work on other parts of your game?
Yeah, as much as I hate doing nothing really,
Yeah.
I'm not a particularly good person, especially if lads are playing or training. I feel a bit guilty just kind of doing nothing. But I think in the long run, yeah, it's a huge thing, sort of stepping away for a bit. I think as a sportsman, we have a tendency when things aren't going very well to work even harder.
Yeah.
Which obviously at times you've got a technical flaw you need to do, but I think at times the best thing you can do is just step away for a bit. When I bruised heel, sounds like the most embarrassing injury ever, but it does hurt, I promise you. I couldn't play for about 3 weeks. I was forced to do nothing effectively. And my first game back at Scarborough against Sussex, I got 80 back as well as I've done for ages, and hadn't batted properly for ages, I think, because you've got no baggage going into it. You've got no sort of head noise about what happened the week before. You've always had a month off, and I felt really refreshed and like really keen to get going as well, which was the key thing. You can almost be a boost of energy towards the team, because it's a long season. If lads haven't had a break yet, and you can come back with all this energy and this positivity to try and give it back into the team and inject it back in, that's a massive thing that sometimes goes under the radar. 100%.
And like you said, like you spend so much time together that sometimes to step away and breathe is what you need to recollect yourself. And then finally, what would you say to a young girl or boy who is feeling like they're being pushed into a box of one specific skill that really wants to open up and be an all-rounder?
I would say do not let it get you down. I think it's just stupid, in my opinion, to box somebody off as a batter and bowler at such a young age. People develop at such different ages. Work your nuts off, especially behind the scenes. Like, just work as hard as you want, as hard as you can. And when you get the opportunity, because you will give the opportunity, just make sure you grab it with both hands.
Yeah.
And make sure the fact that you're being boxed into one thing doesn't take away the love of the game for you. Keep enjoying it, because that is the main reason why we all play cricket. Is at the end of the day, we do love it. It does annoy us a lot of times, but it's a brilliant game. Try not to let it get you down so much. Just keep trying to enjoy it as much as you can.
Yeah. And then the final question, which we ask all our guests, is what is your extra cover, especially when dealing with issues we've talked about in this episode?
Now it will be just speaking to somebody I trust a lot. Just going to them, not necessarily a psychologist or whatever. It's just either a best mate, girlfriend, mum, dad down the pub. Get it off your chest. A good friend of mine said to me, a problem shared is a problem halved, and that's still I'm quite happy with that quote. So that's my advice.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. Hi, and thank you for watching the latest episode of Extra Cover. You can help support the fight against mental health and prevention and support for players by purchasing an Extra Cover t-shirt on our online store. The link will be in the description. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when another episode is released. Thank you so much.